The investigation into the LaGuardia plane collision continues. The tragedy raises questions about runway safety and air traffic control. We're joined now by Mike Gersh, a former FAA controller and now traffic control program administrator at SUNY Schenectady. Mike, thanks for being with us here. If you don't mind, I want to just ask you about a question. We just heard from an expert a couple of moments ago saying he thought it was odd that the same controller would be directing both the planes and the fire truck. Is that common, or do you find that to be a little bit out of the ordinary?
Thanks, Chris, for having us this morning. Appreciate the question. Really want to stay away from me speculating on anything on if they should have been on the same frequency or different frequencies. Normal operations of the tower would have the local controller talking on the runways, talking to the planes landing and taking off, and a ground controller would be talking to the vehicles, planes taxiing to the terminal or from the terminal out to the runways.
Just, I guess, take me through what's going on with air traffic controllers just on a normal day of all the responsibilities they have. I think most of us, sitting here think, oh my heavens, I mean, having to deal with all these planes kind of landing and taking off. I mean, it's a tremendous responsibility, but how much is actually, going on inside the tower?
There's a ton of stuff going on, depending on the size of tower you're working at, the busyness. If you're working at one of the New York airports, obviously Atlanta airports, there's lots going on. You go into work and it makes 8-hour shift or a 10-hour shift go by quickly. Your brain's going constantly, staying focused throughout the shift. But basically, you go up there, you plug in, you get a briefing before you start the day on what the weather is and any kind of impacts to air traffic, if there's weather, if there's construction, all kinds of different stuff. But the busier you are, I think it makes the day go by a lot faster, and that's what makes our job as air traffic controllers one of those unique jobs, and it's something you don't look at as a job.
Yeah. One of the things, with this crash, it happened, late at night. If you're an air traffic controller and you're working a late shift, do you say to yourself, well, I'm probably going to have less traffic out there, but there may not be as many people around me, like, let's say, a middle of the day shift?
Yeah, you could look at it like that. And again, it goes back to the size of the airport. If it's a major commercial airport, sometimes if you have delays throughout the day, if you have weather issues throughout the nation, that could affect everything. Everything could slide back. So you may be busy as soon as you come to work, but usually after an hour, hour and a half, it should slow down to a normal midnight operation.
Mike, we've heard a lot over the last few years now about staffing shortages in air traffic control towers nationwide. Has there been an increase or an uptick in applicants? And is this the biggest challenge that air traffic controllers face right now, is just not having the numbers?
Correct. Staffing's a huge issue, and it's been an issue for a while. When I retired from the FAA, we're down 1,000, 2,000 controller CPCs. And everybody's seen on the news that we're looking to hire 9,000, or the FAA is trying to look to hire 9,000 controllers for the next 3 years or so. The job I took after I retired is working up here at SUNY Schenectady, being their program manager for air traffic control. And our program here is mimicking exactly what happens at the FAA Academy. So we can have students sign up for an air traffic control degree for an associate's and go straight to a facility. Once they get hired by the FAA, they can bypass the FAA Academy. So that's one of the steps that the FAA is trying to do to increase staffing and increase hiring.
Well, Mike, we thank you for taking a couple of moments for us. We know what a tough job this is for air traffic controllers. And we also know you don't hear about all the days when the great things happen in the air traffic control tower. But unfortunately, when something does go wrong, then it does come to people's attention again. But it is a job not for the faint of heart, that's for sure. A lot going on up there. Mike, thank you very much for taking a few moments. We appreciate it.